Hi everyone. I'm really grateful for all the support you all are giving. Thank you so much. So in this video, I will give some really important tips in Procreate that has helped me in making the pattern making process easier and more efficient in some way or the other. Let's get to it then. So tip number 1 is related to sharing your Procreate pattern making process online. As you know, we can share Procreate time-lapse as a glimpse of our process, which has become even more important now more than ever because of AI art. And sometimes we use various image references or layout templates, which doesn't look very aesthetic in the time-lapse. So to avoid that, bring in your image references as private images, which you can do by going to Add, then swipe left on Insert a Photo, tap on Insert private photo, and then you can start your sketching. I'll just quickly trace over this image and then export the time lapse to show you, and as you can see, the image is not showing in the video. Similarly, you can do the same by using the reference. So go to canvas and toggle on reference here, and here tap on image to import an image from your camera roll, and you'll see this option will also give you the same result. Now while we are on the reference topic, the next tip is using this as a preview screen. While adding details to a motif or illustration, we tend to zoom in and zoom out to see if the line thickness is correct or not. So to make this easier, I'll again toggle on the reference like I showed you before, and this time instead of image, I'll tap on canvas. And as you can see, it will reflect the canvas that you are drawing on. Now I can stay zoomed in and keep on adding the details, and if you look at the reference screen, you'll see whatever you do on the actual canvas will reflect here. My next tip is to use pattern making templates in Procreate, which I have repeatedly said in many of my videos, and that's because it has truly helped me in making the pattern design process in Procreate very easy, efficient, and accurate. It not only saves a lot of time for me, but also the headache of my pattern tiles not lining up or not snapping properly, which is sometimes very frustrating. I do have a video showing how to make the pattern making templates yourself, which I'll link in the description. And also I give the templates for free in my resource library, which you can access by signing up to my newsletter. So go with whatever feels good to you. I have always loved the concept of having a sketchbook with all the pages filled up with various art, but now I make most of my artwork digitally. So I thought, why not use Procreate as a digital sketchbook? And you can do that by using Page Assist. To do that, go to Canvas and toggle on Page Assist, and you'll see all the pages at the bottom as well as in the layers panel. I have some of my art here, and whenever you add a new page or a new layer, it will give you a blank white canvas without showing the previous layer, which is not possible if Page Assist is not on. So after you have all the artwork, you can toggle on the Animation Assist also to create a cool animation of all your artworks. In the settings, just decrease the frames per second up to 1 or 2, and you'll have a video to share on social media. Now to export it, go to Share and tap on Animated MP4, and if you are happy with the speed, then just tap on Export and save it. This next tip will be helpful for those of you who likes to have prominent line works in your motif, but you also want to keep the outlines and solid color fills separate. Like in this example, I have drawn the flowers and leaves outlines in separate layers so that I can color them separately. You can drop the colors inside the shapes, but you have to do it on the same layer. But to keep the layers separate, there is a very efficient way to add colors. Tap on the layer that you want to add colors to, and then tap on Reference. Now make a new layer above the reference layer. Take the color of your choice and just drag and drop it. Now tap on Continue Filling and keep on tapping to fill the empty spaces with color. And as you can see, it stays in a separate layer. Now depending on the thickness of the lines that you want, you can keep this layer above or below the reference layer. I will make another layer and keep on filling the spaces with color. When you want to fill the leaves, you have to make the leaf outline layer as separate reference if you have drawn it in a separate layer like me. But remember, for this process to work, you have to close all the shapes properly. And now you can choose to keep the outlines or make them a different color or remove them altogether to give a unique look to your artwork. If you have watched my previous videos where I have used an OGEE and a scallop template, then you must know how easy and fun it was to make a pattern using a layout. So my next tip is to use layout templates in your pattern making process. Doing this will not only help you to make interesting patterns, but also make the workflow more easy and fun at the same time. For my coordinates or secondary patterns, I often use layouts like the OGEE, scallop or quatrefoil, which I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it the right way or not. But yeah, this is going to be the next tutorial, so stay tuned for that. And for my hero pattern, I sometimes use this diamond layout like shown here. Now if you're wondering what's a hero or a secondary pattern, then do let me know in the comments below and I'll make a video on it. As much as I love having a lot of brushes in Procreate, I often find myself using the same 2 or 3 brushes again and again. So in order to not search those brushes among the sea of brushes every time I draw, I have created a quick menu where I can easily access my favorite brushes and repeat actions. So if I tap on this rounded square here, the quick menu appears. If this is not doing the same for you, then go to the preferences and then tap on gesture control. And here, if you don't know exactly what this is doing, then tap on all the options to see where this first option is on. Usually it's the eyedropper, which I have changed to touch and hold. Now tap on the quick menu and toggle on the first option. Now let me create a new menu by tapping on this plus sign. And if you are setting it for the first time, then it will show as no action. Now you can tap on the buttons and choose whatever brush or actions you want to set. You can also rename the menu here, and if you swipe it towards left, you can delete it too. The next step is to save the brush size. This is especially useful when you have line works in your motifs or illustration, or when you're going back and forth between 2 or more brushes. So to save the size, just set it to your desired size first and then tap on this rectangle and then tap on this plus sign to save it. You can set multiple sizes of the same brush. Another small tip here, if you are wondering why my brushes are on the right side, then you can change it by going into preferences and toggle on right hand interface. You can also move this whole bar up and down. This is a very common tip but an important one, which is to use clipping mask to add textures to the artwork. I'll take this burnt tree texture brush and add some textures to this flower, which is not looking very good. So I'll go to the layer and bring it just above the flower layer. Tap on it once and tap on clipping mask. And now you can freely add the textures and change the blending mode to make it more interesting. Another way of adding textures is to use alpha lock, which you can do by swiping with 2 fingers on the layer towards right. But the problem with this is that you can't change it or delete it later without deleting the original layer. Having said that, alpha lock also has its own advantages. I sometimes use it to draw over or recolor something, like the details in this case, which I forgot to draw in a separate layer. So while alpha lock is on, I take the desired color and simply draw over it. This next tip will be helpful for you if you don't have enough layers to work on your illustrations or you forgot to start the pattern in a template. So in that case, you can easily move the layers to a different canvas without copying or duplicating the canvas. Group all the layers that you want to move, or it will work even without grouping. Just select one and swipe the other layers to the right to select, and now tap and hold. Then go back to gallery without releasing the layers. Go to your canvas that you should have created beforehand. Then go to layers and drop the selected layers, and everything will be imported in the right order. The next tip is to always back up your files both as .procreate, which is the original Procreate file, and also as .psd, which is a Photoshop file. So apart from saving it as a PNG or JPEG, back it up as a Procreate as well as Photoshop file on your cloud storage like Google Drive or Dropbox, and also on an external hard drive. This is a really important tip because it will take seconds to lose all those work that you have used months or years to create. This tip is especially helpful when you are out of ideas or when you quickly want to create something, which is making stamp brushes of all the motifs that you use again and again. You can make flower stamps, birds, butterflies, or any other animal or object that you like to draw. I have made a lot of stamp brushes that I commonly use, and whenever I'm out of ideas, I just take a brush, stamp it, and either I'll trace over it or use a textured brush to manipulate the shape a little bit. This really helps me when I'm not feeling very creatively motivated, or sometimes to make a fun animated slide for my videos like this. This tip is related to the previous tip, and that's to make a stamp brush of your logo or your brand name, which you can use to protect your artwork or watermark it. You can use your actual logo, or you can type it using the add text option in Procreate. But remember to use black color. Now let me show you how to create the easiest stamp brush even if you haven't done it before. So take a canvas of your choice, since we will be using this as a watermark, so a smaller canvas will also work, but let it be at least 1000 pixel at 300 dpi. So first of all, after you have your logo or brand name on the canvas, go to add and tap on copy canvas. Now go to brushes, then go to calligraphy and duplicate the monoline brush and tap on it, which will take you to the brush studio. Now here tap on shape, then tap on edit, then import, and then on paste. Then tap with 2 fingers on the screen to invert it. Always remember that for the stamp brush to work, the motif, which is the logo in this case, should be in white and the background should be black. Now tap on done and you won't see any changes immediately. So go to stroke path and increase the spacing to max. Then go to properties, toggle on use stamp brush and orient to screen. Then in stamp behavior below, increase the maximum size to max. I'll also increase the preview size a little bit. Now you can tap on the white space on the right to see if it's working or not. Now I'll test it on the canvas to see how it looks. So when you have a pattern or an artwork that you want to share on social media, just make a layer above the pattern and take a color of your choice and stamp it. You can decrease the size of the brush or decrease the opacity like I'm doing here. And also change the blending mode to multiply or overlay, whichever looks better. The whole point of having a watermark is to protect your art, but it should not overpower the art itself. So keep it subtle but visible enough to show that it's yours. So I hope you found all these tips helpful. Do let me know which one was your favorite tip, and also share any other tips that you have. I would love to know some new tips from you. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.